Scott Pioli, welcome
Hey,
back.
Scott.
Thank you. The breakfast sandwich. There was a breakfast sandwich for me today. Yeah. So thank you.
Have your name on it?
Thank you.
fancy?
It didn't. It does. I don't need my name on it.
Okay.
I probably ate someone else.
Lunch pail guy doesn't need. Okay, I have the green M&Ms in the room.
What?
When the
Just green.
Seahawks traded away Russell Wilson, everyone decided that Seattle was throwing away the season. The word tank was mentioned, and here we are, January 10th, and the Seahawks have a playoff game 72 hours away. Tell us about the mindset that front office personnel have before grading a trade.
Yeah, you get graded, and the mindset is that you're trying to ignore all that's going on. And sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not. But when you look at the two people involved, and Pete Carroll and John Schneider, you talk about a great partnership. You've got a GM who knows how to get players that meet Pete Carroll's needs and his wants and his personality. So when they made this trade, everyone beat him up. They lost his quarterback, future Hall of Fame quarterback, but they get 2 firsts, 2 seconds. They get a bevy of pick and a couple of other players. Noah Fant, one of the players, caught 50 balls this year. But they get Charles Cross because they get number 8 overall. They get Boye Mafe, pass rusher, who fits Pete perfectly. And now this year, they're going to have, what is it, the number 6, number 8, number 6. Now, let me check this. Number 5 overall because of this trade. So when these trades get graded so fast, you've got to let things play out and see what the players are going to be like that are involved in the trade. Let it work out. Now, as we're saying this and everyone's beating up the Denver Broncos, let's just wait and see. And you know, I've been skeptical of this trade too. However, we're going to see if Sean Payton ends up in Denver. We may see a different Russell Wilson, and this trade that looks awful for Denver right now might look very different if they have a different.
Isn't that similar to the Rams with Stafford and Goff and that whole thing, where it's like the Rams got the best? Well, the Rams did get the best of it that first year. Lions are sitting pretty with that Rams pick and Jared Goff now.
Yeah.
You have to sit and be patient and try to ignore the noise. And you know, it's easy for me to say now that I'm not sitting there having the noise come at me, but it's difficult sometimes.
Let's talk about maybe the Lions. Or I want you to pick a team that missed the playoffs. We're happy for the Seahawks, but a team that missed, that you want to shed a light on, that maybe they were starting to hit the right stride at the end of the season, but they just didn't quite make it into the postseason.
Jamie, you mentioned it's the Detroit Lions.
It is.
Yeah, there's so many things to like about the Lions. I like the way they've built this team. I like what they've done with their picks. I like the way that they've developed their players. They brought in the right players for their head coach, and they've done a tremendous job. Brad Holmes, I think, is doing everything he needs to do to bring in the right players for Dan Campbell. They are an emotionally tough team. They're a physically tough team. They meet the image of the head coach. But here's the thing. They're also in this place now, year 3, where they've got a number of good young players. And this is the best opportunity to evaluate your own and possibly extend those players to make sure that that young team is going to be good in the future. Again, you look at the trade that they have this year, they've got number 6 and number 18 in terms of picks in the first round this year. They've got another pick. So they are loaded with picks. They're picking well, and they're developing players. Dan Campbell comes from the Parcells background, a number of other people. He believes in developing players. I love where the Lions are at right now, Jamie.
Totally.
Yeah, you talked about picks. The Houston Texans played in a game this past week versus Indianapolis Colts. They score a touchdown, they go for 2, and their pick in this year's draft could have been 1, and now it's 2nd overall. For a front office, what goes into one Lovie Smith going for 2, and do you think that had a big impact on him being fired?
Jason, I would love it, because here's the thing.
You would love it.
I would absolutely love it. Here's the thing. You cannot compromise the integrity of winning in this game. And if you're a front office person that is wanting your team to lose to get 1 pick ahead of where you're at, to me, it's the most awful message that you can send in football. You're telling players every single day to do everything they can, sacrifice their bodies, the things that we've seen this year, what players go through, and then to hope and wish that your team is going to lose a game.
Can't you secretly kind of wish?
Yeah, from that perspective, can you play different players? Put the inexperienced guy in, going for that last game, take some of your veterans
Justify
out.
in your
Same.
head.
Hope
That's
that
the same.
I couldn't. I couldn't, and if I have a head coach who's trying to win, God bless him, I'm all in with him. Because here's the deal. You're looking at pick number 1 versus pick number 2 right now. Okay, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about this specific situation with Lovie. And this is a pretty good draft this year.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of number 1s make it. We've seen plenty bust. We've seen some number 2s make it and some number 2s bust. It's a 1 difference pick. The Texans' roster right now is not good. No matter who they get at number 2, it should be a good player. But the whole concept and idea, the disrespect that you would do to the game, your players, your fans, to do anything to advocate for losing a game, I think that you're a loser. I would not. I love what Lovie Smith did.
That's interesting. Lovie Smith is gone, unfortunately. He is no longer the head coach of the Texans, but with that comes a vacancy, of which there are a few that we're looking at, and who knows what's more to come. Scott, who's your champion? Who is a person that you're like, head coach right here? Pick one.
I'll say this. I'm going to get to the point, but there's so many good candidates this year. I mean, I start with Brian Flores, Dan Quinn, Leslie Frazier, Sean Payton, who everyone's talking about, and everyone's talking about D'Amico Ryans. I love D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans is smart, he's dedicated, he's smart, and he's thoughtful, right? He relates very well with players, but he's not that player's coach that lets guys, he is a terrific football coach, a terrific football mind. The way he was raised from the beginning in college, he knows what a good program looks like. But one of the other guys I want to focus on is really David Shaw. No one's talking very much about David Shaw. Because here's the deal with David. We've all seen David prior to the draft. David knows players. If you have a head coach that is not only a good strategist and knows X's and O's and knows how to lead a football team, but knows personnel, David is great at personnel. I used to go out to Stanford every single year to spend time with David just to watch him coach and to listen to him, because he would tell you everything about the Pac-10 players when they were Pac-10 and the Pac-12 players. He also has a history of coaching in the NFL. He knows what the NFL is about. He understands the salary cap. David Shaw, to me, is a guy that I think isn't being talked about, but might be a guy that shows up. And I think the world of David.
He was in Oakland. He was in Baltimore.
Yep.
Here's my question, and I don't know if you talk to him. The thought that I have is that for 5 years it was like David Shaw. He's like, I'm never leaving Palo Alto. I'm the happiest guy in the world. I'm not even going to listen to these offers. He steps away. Do you think there's an interest from David Shaw to get back into this thing?
I think there might be, because different times in life make you want to do different things.
Very cool.
There's stages and phases of life, and I did not talk to David about this.
Yeah.
So this is. But I also think that
Doesn't hurt to
David
pick up the phone, right?
Living in Palo Alto, when you're the coach at Stanford, let me tell you what. Where you can have your children, the schools that you can have your children in, the community that you can have your children in, that is a special place. And David knew that, and David loved that community. I also think that he's young enough and he's respected enough. And remember, look at how well he did with a team at Stanford that would always have a limited roster compared to the other schools. He was able to win. I understand the last several years were tough.
No one's questioning David
Shaw's
Shaw's
cycles.
Yeah.
Everyone has cycles. Everyone has cycles.
That's an interesting name.
Yeah.
I've not heard of him. And I know for years, it was David Shaw's number one on everyone's list, but he would never consider the NFL.
And David is the total package in what you're looking for in a head coach and a human
I
being.
love that name. He does have a really nice maturity about him that I always enjoyed being around the college game that I think would apply very easily at the NFL game.
And he's got a calm.
Calm.
And he's passionate, though.
He's passionate.
Maturity, calm, and passion like Scott Pioli. That is what he brings to this table. Scott, you're the best, man.